if you are here watching this now, it means something. Not everyone sees this. Not everyone gets access to this kind of moment. Only those who are prepared, not on the outside, but on the inside, get pulled toward a message like this. The date is not just a number. It's not just the end of another month. 31st of July holds weight for the ones who are ready, for the ones who are chosen. You don't need anyone to explain to you why you're here. Deep down, you already know you've been feeling it. A shift, a pressure, a quiet sense that something in your life cannot stay the same, that something is reaching the end. And in that silence between what was and what's next, this message appears. That is not a coincidence. This is the moment before the change. But it only speaks to those who are awake enough to hear it. The chosen don't look different. They live in the same world as everyone else. But something inside them refuses to settle. They are done waiting, done repeating, done pretending. And when this kind of energy meets a date like 31st of July, something happens. A break, a crack, a point of no return. This is not about inspiration. It's about alignment. The message finds them because they are already on the edge of becoming. Some will scroll past, others won't even notice. That's fine. This wasn't meant for them. The message isn't loud. It doesn't scream. It whispers in the direction of those who have eyes to see and a spirit ready to listen. That's how it works. That's how life separates the ones who are still asleep from those who are finally ready to wake up. Not with noise, not with drama, but with a signal, a quiet signal that 31st July is not just another date. It is a deadline, a door. You either go through or you stay where you are. No one pushes you. No one drags you. You step through because you are done lying to yourself. You are done being half alive. The chosen know when it's time. And this is that time. For most people, life repeats in cycles. Days blur into each other. They wait. They hope, but nothing changes. So, not because they don't want it to, but because they ignore the moments when change is possible. They see the sign but doubt it. They feel the call but delay it. And so another year passes. Another version of them dies unrealized. But for the chosen, that cycle breaks. They see the signal and they act. They stop asking for guarantees. They stop waiting for perfect timing. They recognize that the moment is now, that the 31st July is a line drawn in their own mind, and they cross it. You don't need to know exactly what comes next. You don't need to have the answers, but you do need to stop pretending that what you're doing now is enough. You know it's not. You feel it every time you sit in silence, every time you wake up and wonder why you still feel stuck, every time you look in the mirror and question who you've become. That's the signal. That's the truth knocking. And when 31st July comes, it doesn't bring answers. It brings consequences. You either move or you stay behind. There is a cost to transformation. It will take your comfort. It will take your distractions. It will take the stories you've told yourself to feel safe. But what it gives back is power, clarity, identity. That's the exchange. And only the chosen are willing to pay that price. Not because they're better, not because they're stronger, but because they're done. They are finished being the version of themselves that survives. They are ready to become the one that leads. So ask yourself, why are you here right now at this moment hearing this? Why now? Why this message? Why before 31st July? The answer is simple. Because this is your last chance to decide what kind of person you are going to be from this point forward. You can still turn away. You can still ignore it, but you will feel it. You will remember this moment and you will know what you walked away from. The window doesn't stay open. This kind of message doesn't repeat itself. When the right words meet the right person at the right time, something irreversible begins. And the chosen, they don't hesitate. They walk through the door. They burn the bridge. They become the shift they've been waiting for, not after 31st of July, before, because they understand something others don't, that the moment of decision is now. That time doesn't wait, and neither should you. Most people will never face themselves. That's the truth. They spend years decorating the surface, fixing what's visible, controlling what others see. But the core remains untouched. The inside remains hidden. And so they live the same year over and over, calling it growth. But it's not growth, it's avoidance. Avoidance dressed up as progress. The chosen ones are different. They don't run from themselves, they sit with the discomfort. They look in the mirror and don't flinch. That's why they are chosen, not because of talent, not because of luck, but they have the courage to stop pretending. They've come to understand that if life doesn't feel right, it's not because of the world, it's because of the self, the internal misalignment, the lies they've allowed to grow. And now, with 30 funds July approaching, they feel it, something has to give. The deadline isn't for the world, it's not for society, it's personal. It's internal. It's the moment when you stop negotiating with your weaknesses. The moment when you say, this version of me can't come with me anymore. That's the weight of 31st July. It's not just a day, it's a mirror. A mirror that shows you everything you've refused to deal with. And the chosen ones don't look away. Growth doesn't begin when things are easy. It begins when you're willing to tell the truth, the real truth. Not the version that sounds good in conversation, the one that stings, the one that exposes how many times you've betrayed your own potential. You say you want peace, but you entertain chaos. You say you want freedom, but you cling to the habits that keep you trapped. That contradiction, it ends now, or it never ends. 31 July is the final breath of your old identity. That voice in your head that always has an excuse. That's the version of you that's dying. The one that tells you, just wait a little longer. Just avoid this for now. Maybe next month. That voice is afraid. Afraid of what happens if you actually commit to truth. Because when you do, everything changes. And the chosen don't fear that change. So they demand it. If you're hearing this, it's not an accident. It means you're already aware that you've been hiding. You've built walls inside. Quiet ones, subtle ones. You show up on the outside, but inside you've been asleep. You've allowed distractions to rule. You've turned away from your own intuition. And now the message has arrived. Clear and simple. No more lies. No more pretending. No more delay. The chosen understand that nothing real can grow on false foundations. If your life is built on image, ego, and noise, it will fall. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but eventually the truth comes for everyone. The difference is that the chosen go out and meet it. They don't wait. They don't hope. They move toward it. 31st July is their line in the sand. On one side, who they've been. On the other, who they are becoming. And between those two worlds is only one thing, brutal self-honesty. This honesty is not emotional. It's not dramatic. It's clear, precise. It's the discipline to look at your habits and ask, does this reflect who I want to be? It's the strength to admit that some of your beliefs, your patterns, even your relationships, they no longer serve you. And it's the wisdom to act on that realization, not tomorrow. Now, there is no transformation without destruction. Something has to end. Something inside you has to die so that something stronger can be born. This isn't about becoming someone new. It's about removing everything that is not really you. The noise, the self-deception, the false confidence, the fear dressed as logic. You remove those layers and what's left is real power. The kind of power that doesn't need to prove itself, the kind of power that moves in silence. And that's why this moment matters. That's why 31st July isn't just a number, it's a moment of separation between those who are still lying to themselves and those who are ready to live aligned. And make no mistake, once you cross that line, everything changes. You start making different choices. You walk away from things that no longer match your energy. You stop waiting for people to understand your path. You stop explaining yourself. You begin to act not from fear, but from clarity. The chosen don't waste time. They understand that every delay feeds the false self. Every excuse strengthens the old identity. So they move now. They speak the truth to themselves. Not because it's comfortable, but because it's necessary. That is the mindset of the chosen. That is the energy required to meet the pressure of 31st July with strength, not avoidance. So ask yourself, are you ready to face the real you? Not the polished version, not the version others expect, the one that lives behind your silence. That's the one who is being called forward now, not after this week, not next month. Now, this is the shift. This is the mirror. This is the moment that separates those who wish from those who walk. And only the chosen make that walk before 31 July. Most people are chasing freedom, but they're doing it the wrong way. They think freedom means doing what you want, when you want, how you want. But that's not freedom. That's chaos. That's emotional slavery. Real freedom is the result of inner order, and inner order only comes through discipline. The chosen ones already know this. That's why they feel the weight of 31st of July more than others. Not because something external is going to change, but because something internal already has. They feel the pressure building, the silence tightening, the space between where they are and where they're supposed to be closing fast. And they understand one thing clearly: if they don't get disciplined now, they won't cross. 31 July is a mirror for the undisciplined mind. It reveals how much time you've wasted. How many times you've betrayed your own word. How often you've said you're ready, but still did nothing. And for the chosen, that realization doesn't bring shame. It brings movement. They don't defend their laziness. They correct it. They don't get emotional about their weakness. They face it with structure because they know one thing: without discipline, there is no transformation. You want to change your life. Don't wait for motivation. Build structure. Get serious about your habits. Decide who you are, and then act like it every day, even when it's boring, even when no one's watching, even when it's hard. Especially when it's hard. That's the difference. That's what separates the chosen from the comfortable. They don't follow their feelings. They lead them. There is no breakthrough coming if your actions stay soft. You say you want clarity, but you feed your mind distractions. You say you want focus, but your days are ruled by impulses. You say you want to change before 31st July, but your calendar looks exactly the same as it did last month. Don't lie to yourself. That window is closing. That chance to rise, to realign, to become, that window does not stay open forever. The chosen are chosen because they take that window seriously. They understand what's at stake. Every time they hit snooze, scroll, indulge, or avoid, part of them dies. Part of their strength fades, so they stop doing it. They don't argue with themselves. They don't debate. They choose discomfort now so they don't have to suffer later. That is discipline. That is power. That is the real key to freedom. People think freedom is doing what they want, but freedom is doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. Especially then, you want peace, train your mind. You want strength, master your routines. You want to be ready for 31st of July, then earn it. Don't wish for change. Build the structure that forces it. The mind untrained will sabotage you every time. It will whisper soft lies. You've done enough. You'll start tomorrow. One more hour of rest won't hurt. And every time you listen, you drift further from who you're meant to become until one day you look around and realize 31st of July passed. The moment came and went, and you are still the same. That's the cost of undisciplined living, the quiet decay of self-respect. But the chosen ones, they see it coming. They feel the pressure of 31st of July not as fear, but as fuel. They move early. They rise before the world wakes. They train while others talk. They sharpen their focus while others seek comfort because they understand what's on the line. They understand that becoming is not accidental. It's earned day by day, decision by decision, hour by hour. Discipline is not punishment. It's protection. It protects your mind from weakness, your energy from waste, your time from being stolen. It is the system that keeps your future intact. Without it, you will fall into everything you say you want to escape. And the scariest part, you'll still pretend you're growing. But growth without discipline is fantasy. It's noise. If 30 Fansa July means anything to you, let it mean this: enough. Enough lying to yourself, enough starting and stopping, enough making promises and breaking them. You are not weak. You are not behind. You are just undisciplined. Fix that and everything changes. The chosen ones don't rely on emotion. They rely on structure. They create it, they obey it, they respect it because they respect themselves. And the deeper they go, the more they realize that freedom is not something given. It is something built through repetition, through boundaries, through sacrifice. When the rest of the world looks up on the 31st July and sees just another day, the chosen ones will feel something different. They'll feel the reward of the work they put in, the quiet pride of having kept their word to themselves, the inner stability that can only come from mastery. That's what this moment is about, not results, not appearances, mastery of self, of time, of focus. So don't ask for change. Create the system that demands it. Don't wait for clarity. Live in a way that invites it. You don't need motivation, you need discipline. And you need it now. Because 31st July is not waiting, and neither should you. That there comes a moment in life where you either move forward or you stay behind, not because life pushes you, but because time stops waiting. That moment is now. That moment is 31st of July. It's not just another date on the calendar. It is a turning point, a personal deadline. And the chosen ones feel it deep in their bones, not as fear, but as pressure, not as anxiety, but as clarity. You've said you want to change. You've talked about goals, healing, transformation, but talking is easy. Thinking is safe. Action is what separates the lost from the awakened. The chosen understand that. They don't wait for perfect conditions. They don't hope for a sign. They are the sign. And that's why 31st of July matters to them. It's not some external event. It's an internal commitment, a decision, one they don't postpone. If you're still waiting to feel ready, you'll miss it, you'll blink, and the month will end. And you'll be exactly where you are right now, still hesitating, still unsure, still surrounded by the same noise. But for the ones who have chosen to act, 31 July is the end of delay. It is the line between the old self and the one they've been trying to become. The lie most people tell themselves is that they have more time, that they can start later, that someday will come. But the chosen know better. They've seen what happens when you let that voice win. They've felt the pain of repeating cycles. They've lived the consequences of waiting too long. And they've decided never again. So when the message comes, they listen. When the date approaches, they prepare, not out of fear, but out of truth. Because 31st July is not about pressure from the outside. It's about what happens inside you. When you decide enough is enough, you already know what needs to change. You already know what's holding you back. The distractions, the habits, the fear, the stories you keep repeating. What you lack is not clarity. What you lack is action. The chosen don't waste energy explaining their pain. They use it. They take the discomfort and turn it into direction. They understand that the pain of facing the truth is less than the pain of staying stuck. You say you want to grow, but how many decisions are you still postponing? How many things have you been putting off until the right time? This is the right time. This is the wake-up call. This is the alarm before the door closes. 31st July isn't magical, but it is symbolic. It is a threshold, a chance to show yourself that this time you're serious. Because if you don't act now, you already know what happens. You slide back into old patterns. The energy fades. The urgency disappears. And life goes back to being that quiet disappointment you've learned to tolerate. But you weren't made for that. And you know it. The chosen are chosen not because they're special, but because they're decisive. They don't need more information. They don't need a perfect plan. They just decide. And from that decision, everything begins to shift. Energy returns. focus sharpens. The excuses fall away. That's what 31st July represents, the death of hesitation and the birth of action. You don't need more time. You need more honesty. What are you avoiding? What are you protecting that's actually limiting you? What part of your identity are you clinging to even though it's keeping you small? These are the questions that must be answered now, not next week, not next month. Now. And once you answer them, the next move becomes obvious. You don't wait, you execute, you remove what doesn't serve, you double down on what does. You simplify, you sharpen, you move with precision, not perfection. That's what growth looks like. Not some dramatic change overnight, but a quiet, steady commitment to never lying to yourself again. By the time 31st of July arrives, it's already too late to prepare. You either use the days leading up to it with intention or you let them slip. There is no middle ground. The chosen know that. That's why they live differently. They move differently, not faster, just more honestly. They don't run, they commit. So ask yourself, what is 31st July going to mean for you? Will it be another missed opportunity, another moment you look back on with regret? Or will it be the line you finally drew in your own life, the one that separated who you were from who you are becoming? That choice is yours. No one's coming to make it for you. No one's coming to push you through that door. The chosen walk through it on their own because they understand the cost of waiting, because they've decided they're done postponing their evolution. And that is what separates them from the rest, not talent, not luck, just the courage to say, this ends now. I won't carry this version of me into the next month. I won't waste another day pretending I don't what needs to be done. So act, decide, shift before the clock hits the final moment of 31st of July. Because after that, everything either begins or it repeats. Most people live their entire lives waiting for the right time, waiting for permission, waiting for life to finally hand them what they think they deserve. But the truth is, nothing comes to those who wait. Everything comes to those who move. And the chosen ones, they understand this at their core. There is something different about 31st of July, not because the universe decided so, but because the chosen ones decided it's different. They draw a line through this date, not in ink, but in action. They feel its weight. They sense the pull. It's not a date anymore. It becomes a deadline, a turning point, a personal vow. This is not about inspiration. It's about instruction. The chosen don't wait to feel ready. They create readiness through discipline, through awareness, through cutting away the unnecessary. 31st of July is not a sign from above. It is a signal within that says, move now or be left behind. You will hear this message and feel something, maybe a tightening in your chest, maybe a subtle unrest. That's not fear. That's truth knocking. That's the inner voice waking up because you've known for a long time. Something has to shift. But knowing is not enough. Knowledge is passive. Only action transforms. The chosen have a relationship with time that others don't. They treat time like it's alive, sacred, limited, and honest. They don't casually walk through their days. They move with intention. 31st July is the checkpoint. It is the mirror. It asks, have you really changed? Or are you still hiding behind the same old excuses? You don't have to say anything. You don't have to post about it. You don't have to prove to anyone. But you do have to face yourself. That's what 31st of July demands. Not talk, not theory, but truth, quiet, clean, and direct. When the chosen ones come into contact with this date, they don't get nervous. They get focused. They get still. They look at what's been draining them, what's been distracting them, what they've been avoiding, and they cut it without drama, without delay, because they know delay is the destroyer of destiny. Growth isn't a feeling, it's a decision. The decision to choose pain now over regret later, to choose structure over chaos, to choose progress over comfort. 31st July is not here to motivate you, it is here to test you. Will you move forward or will you repeat? So, will you listen or will you numb it out? Look at your life honestly. What still owns your energy that doesn't deserve it? So, who have you become while pretending everything is fine? And what would happen if you stopped pretending? That's what the chosen ask themselves. Not once a year, every day. But 31st of July, that's the reset button, the place of no return. The day you either shed your skin or wear the weight of it for another cycle. You have to understand life doesn't change because you want it to. Life changes because you choose to. You cut the rope, you walk through the fire. You stop making room for what's been holding you down. That's what the chosen do. And that's what this date requires. Forget waiting for alignment. You become aligned by acting. You don't wait for signs. You move with certainty, even when it's unclear, especially when it's unclear. 31st of July is the date when the fog must lift, when the old stories are buried, when the next version of you gets built, not by chance, but by choice. And choice is everything. You are not stuck. You are undecided. The chosen feel the discomfort and still move forward. That's what makes them different. Not that they don't doubt, but that they don't let doubt lead. 31st of July is the door, and it will not stay open. You either step through or step back. You don't need a miracle. You need discipline. You don't need more signs. You need fewer distractions. So you don't need more days. You need more honesty. You've waited long enough. You've talked enough. You've dreamed enough. Now is the time for execution. 31st of July is not waiting for you. It's calling you. And if you can't hear it, you've already missed it. But if you can, if something inside you is vibrating right now, that's not coincidence. That's alignment. That's the contact. That's the message delivered directly to your soul. This is your moment. No one's coming to save you. No one's going to carry you to your future. But if you rise now, if you cut the weight, if you decide that 31st of July will be your pivot, then everything changes. Not because the date is magic, but because you chose to make it sacred. So stand up, cut ties, walk forward. This is the final warning before the storm or the sunrise. The path is clear. The choice is yours, and you already know which way the chosen go. Most people will pass by 31st and July like it's just another day. They will scroll, they will complain, they will wait. But the chosen ones, those who are awake, aware, and brutally honest with themselves, know better. 31 July is not another day. It is the threshold, a line that demands something real, something final. You see, everything you carry up to this moment is being measured. Your habits, your thoughts, your energy, not by anyone else, by life itself. And when the chosen come into contact with this day, they feel it deeply, not with emotion. With clarity, they understand this is a checkpoint, a silent confrontation, either evolve or repeat. You've had the signs, the restlessness, the tension, the urge to cut ties, walk away, do something different. But you kept waiting for timing, for perfection, for certainty. That's not the way the chosen live. They don't wait. They decide 31st July doesn't ask you to be ready. It asks you to be a real. Everything fake must burn. The mask, the image, the performance. That's what 31st of July demands. It asks, are you still pretending to be someone? Are you still shrinking to be accepted? Are you still choosing comfort over growth? The chosen hear that question and answer with action, not with words. If you've truly made contact with this moment, you already know you cannot carry your old self forward. The excuses, the blame, the denial, it's dead weight. And if you carry it past this point, you'll fall behind, not in competition with others, but with your own potential. Growth is not an idea. It is a rupture, a tearing apart of what no longer serves you. 31st July is the blade. It will cut, but only if you're brave enough to hold it. You can't fake this part. The chosen don't pretend to be aligned. They ever aligned because they paid the price. Sacrifice, simplicity, silence. They let go of the unnecessary to become undeniable. That's the energy of 31st of July, not celebration, elimination. If you still need people to understand you, if you still seek validation, If you're still hoping for someone to save you, you're not ready for what this day demands. 31 July is for the builders, for the ones who move through darkness without needing applause. It is for those who are no longer negotiating with their old story. So, so you have to choose now, stay where it's familiar or step where it's unknown. But you cannot have both. That's the weight of this moment. And the chosen don't hesitate. They feel the fear, they move anyway, because they know the next version of them will never be created in comfort. You think this is about some future goal. It's not. It's about identity. Who are you now? Who are you becoming? And what must die inside you so that version can live? 31 July doesn't offer you more time. It offers you a test. Will you pass or will you fall into the same cycle again? This isn't about being perfect. It's about being done with your own nonsense, the stories, the distractions, the self-sabotage. The chosen draw a line, not out of anger. Out of clarity, they stop asking for peace from places that only bring chaos. They stop negotiating with their lower self. This is the day you remove what dulls you. This is the day you stop giving your energy to what drains you. This is the day you take responsibility, not just for your future, but for your present. 31 July is not coming to save you. It's coming to wake you. There's a difference between being tired and being done. Most people are tired, but not done. The chosen are both, and from that exhaustion, they rise, not slowly, sharply, cleanly, quietly. It's not about hustle, it's about focus. It's not about doing more, it's about cutting the excess. The chosen see 31 July and say, that's it. This is where I end the old chapter. Not because someone told them, because their soul told them. If you really want change, you have to do something irreversible. Burn the bridge, block the distraction, quit the lie. Choose the thing that scares you because it reveals the real you. That's what the chosen do when they touch this day. They don't talk about it. They live it. Everything comes back to one question. Are you ready to let go of who you were? If yes, 30 Van Vlas, July is the starting line. If not, it becomes just another missed moment. But you already know something is different now. This isn't theory anymore. This is pressure. This is truth. This is your soul refusing to be silenced one more day. That tension in your chest, that's the message. And if you ignore it now, it'll haunt you. You've been guided here for a reason, not to hear more, to do more. To become more. 31st of July is not external. It is you calling yourself out. Enough waiting, enough hoping. The real ones don't need certainty. They need conviction. And if you feel this now, if something inside you is rising, you already know. This is the turning point. This is where the chosen are separated from the comfortable. This is the moment. Don't waste it.